In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about making a mental health self-diagnosis. Hi guys, thanks for coming back. I'm Daz, hopefully you know that, and I make kind of almost daily videos on mental health, personal development, and sort of everything in the middle of all that, which is really just the thoughts
in my mind,
which is quite a strange, crazy place sometimes.
Isn't it delightful?
In order to maybe help you to change your mind, change your life. So have you ever felt ill or something like that, or had some sort of discomfort or something? Think,
I know. I'm going to check what I might have on the internet.
now we've probably all done it. I've done it. You must have done it. It seems an obvious thing because perhaps traditionally you would have gone to the big medical book that you've got on the shelf that's covered in dust, or some other kind of reference book. But these days you've got your phone and you can pretty much find anything you want at the touch of a button or a few clicks on the internet, and it's an amazing resource of stuff, as we all know, YouTube being one. Yeah! But the problem is with looking for illnesses or maybe a diagnosis on the internet is the fact that it's literally everything out there. So whilst that's possibly a good thing, it's also a terrible thing. Because the problem is, you have something like a headache or an arm ache or some sort of ailment, you look on the internet and immediately you go into full-on meltdown because you've got the rarest version of some incurable disease. It's all over and that's the end of the business, and now you're in absolute sheer panic because of it. Well, when it comes to self-diagnosing a mental health condition, it's basically the same. However, the thing you're trying to self-diagnose is your state of mind. And so it's a bit of a kind of a messy one, really.
Oh yeah.
So can you imagine the fun and games your imagination's going to have when you start looking into potential mental health problems? There's the possibility of some horrendous consequences. So firstly, let's have a look at what we can find using a good old friend, Dr. Google. So I'm just typing in something like, do I have a mental health, look, already straight, do I have a mental illness? As you can see, a number of things come up, but there's this free mental health quiz. So that's good. So looking at this mental health quiz, it's got various conditions, as you can see. So potentially this could be the answer to all my problems. Just going through this, all manner of different conditions. This could be the diagnosis tool that I need. As you can see, it's very easy to find a way to understand what you're going through just by looking on the internet. A simple Google search, do I have a mental illness? There's a number of things. One of the ones, as you saw, was this test, this quiz that you can answer various questions with, and it will sort of diagnose you if you have that condition. However, the issue is when you go through these quizzes, these tests, these questions, even though it says this is not a substitute for a proper diagnosis or analysis or assessment, because you're going through this quiz, this test, and it's asking you questions that possibly a therapist would ask you or a doctor would ask you, it's very easy to fall into that trap of,
this is my assessment by a professional.
Clinically fed up, boo-hoo.
Now, if it's your first time researching the subject of mental health, it's very easy to see something that you perhaps might think you have or have heard other people talking about and latch on to that particular thing and then almost convince yourself that you have that thing. But almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, the problem really relates to the fact that you're in the mindset of looking for a diagnosis or looking for an answer really to how you're feeling. Then you see something that explains a few things that maybe you're experiencing, you're feeling yourself, and because your mind isn't perhaps operating correctly or perhaps how it should, and you are desperately looking for an answer, you see that and you're on that straight away. That makes sense to you now because you're desperately looking for an answer, and this somehow answers things to a degree. That's the problem. It's
Close enough.
It's not an exact thing, but it's close enough and closer than other things that perhaps you've seen or read or heard about.
Yay! Louder! Yay! Louder!
So suddenly you fixate on this one particular condition, and then that's your condition, and it makes all the sense. Now, the problem we have with this is the fact that you take that condition and then you continue with some more internet research specific to that condition, and you're not really looking for answers. You're now looking for things and latching on to every slight clue that substantiates your idea of this condition. So there's various things you go,
Oh, yeah, I have that. Yep, I do that.
you sort of ignore all the things you perhaps don't have, but the little things that you may have, which are probably across many conditions, you just latch onto all those things, and you're going down a rabbit hole of the internet or YouTube, looking at various things specifically to one condition. And because you've found 10 different websites, all of which have one little thing that you agree with, or you've experienced, or you suffer with, that confirms to you that that's your condition. So what started off as a kind of a vague thing, you've just honed in on this particular condition, which you may have, but you may not. But because you've just focus and laser focused on getting an answer, and all these things make sense, said you discard the stuff that doesn't make sense. That's the problem. You just see what you want to see, and you sort of say yes, 100%, that's my diagnosis, that's my condition.
Later, in the void.
That is a very dangerous and worrying place to be. So let me know in the comments if you've ever looked on the internet or done a bit of research on the internet to find out an answer to your condition, you know, something that you didn't really know what you perhaps had or were suffering from. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe, because then not only will you get notified of when new videos come out, hopefully daily, but also it lets me know the type of content that you like so I can make more of it for you. So let's just see how accurate these tests are. Now I want to pick up one of these tests of a condition that I know I definitely don't have, just to see how accurate or inaccurate it can be. Now scrolling through these, I know 100% I do not suffer from schizophrenia. So let's pick the schizophrenia test and let's just see how accurate or inaccurate it can be. So where is it now? It's just down here. Okay, right, schizophrenia. Do you ever hear or see things that others cannot? Never, absolutely not. Do you ever struggle to trust what you're thinking is real? Quite often actually, yeah. Do you get the sense that others are controlling your thoughts or emotions? Absolutely no, never. Do you struggle to keep up with daily living tasks such as showering and changing clothes, etc.? Often, yes. I think that's one of the things of depression. Do you ever feel that you have powers that other people cannot understand? Fairly often, yeah. Do you find it difficult to organise and keep track of your thinking? Yes, very often. Do other people find it difficult for you to stay on the subject? Yeah, I'd say so, very often. Do you feel you have little in common with family and friends? Very often. Do you feel you're being tracked, followed or watched at home or outside? Never. Do other people have a difficulty in getting your emotion? Quite often. So let's fill out this little piece, email address in and submit. And let's just see, do I have schizophrenia? Wow, so I'm moderate. I am moderate of having schizophrenia.
No, sir, I don't like it.
I mean, that's probably a good indication of perhaps how inaccurate that is. Based on those few questions, I was answering as honest as I could with those questions. There's not that many questions, but it says I'm fairly high that I have schizophrenia. Now, I know I don't. Perhaps I would say that if I did have it. I've not been anywhere near diagnosed with that, and I know I don't have that at all. But it shows you just how dangerously inaccurate an online test or quiz just with a few questions can be, and that can then send me or you down a sort of a YouTube internet rabbit hole of then going schizophrenia, what are the symptoms of schizophrenia, and you kind of go down that road, and as I said, you pick out things that you do relate to and ignore all the stuff you don't. So because you found 5, 10, 15 different websites and videos saying the odd one thing here and there that you do relate to. Therefore, it confirms to you that you have that condition. And the problem with it, I said, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You then start to think more, and it's a dangerous thing to be in, because you've made up this diagnosis, this conclusion in your mind based on a little bit of research, which is vague at the best, but it can be so dangerous.
What healthy person would voluntarily spend 5 minutes with this?
So it's pretty clear just how easy it is to misdiagnose and then fixate on something and then just substantiate that in your own mind that that's your condition. Unfortunately, then there's the danger of not going to a professional or not going to see your doctor or anyone who could really help. So to sum up, I just want to make it clear how dangerous it is to self-diagnose any kind of mental health condition looking on Google, YouTube, anything like that, even traditionally books, because you can make any symptoms fit any condition. If you are experiencing anything that could be considered a mental health condition, then really please talk to your doctor, a family member, a trusted friend, or to be honest, literally anyone, so you can get the help and advice that you need. But just speak to somebody, really. You know, that's the best advice I can give, whoever it is. You know, even if you're in school, speak to a teacher, speak to your tutor, anyone that, just speak to someone, because that speaking to someone and then may be able to guide you into the right direction to get the sort of help you might need could be the sort of the catalyst to start your treatment and start you getting better and living a great, amazing life, rather than making an appointment with Dr. Google. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate you coming back and watching and sticking with me on my hopefully daily but kind of being a bit basically rubbish recently, and I do apologise for that. I really do appreciate all your likes and comments and views, and of course subscribes means a lot to me, really does. And for now I will say goodbye, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so down here, and check out my other video down here. And remember, live your best life. See you next time. Bye bye.